Hi, first of all, thank you. Second of all, no, that is not true. It is true that the tomboy to masculine lesbian to trans man pipeline is quite common in our community, but not everybody ventures through the same pathway. I mean, I was a tomboy at times, I was a masculine lesbian at times, I've lived it all. But it's true that I lived as a very feminine woman, in many different forms. I knew that I was good looking, I flaunted the features that I felt were good looking. I would disagree that I was comfortable though, but I'll get into that later. I think the reason why a lot of people are shocked when somebody who once presented very feminine transitions is not just because it's such a huge jump, but a lot of people get orientation and gender identity confused. For instance, I'm married to a dude. I met my husband after I transitioned, so it's not like we were together beforehand and we just stayed together. After my transition, I chose to be with a man. A lot of people are shocked by this because in their head they think, oh my god, trans men should only be dating women. That's what makes sense. But really, that doesn't make sense. Because for one, nobody is going to change their gender identity, possibly like go on life changing hormones, get surgeries just to date a certain gender. I mean, that's crazy. Like, if my goal was to just date women, I would have just stayed a lesbian. So I think when people see, like, really feminine women who dated men and then they transition, for one, that's a shocker because they're like, oh my god, what the hell? But then they're even more shocked when they find that trans men might continue to still date men. In our community, that's actually very common. I personally do not know a lot of heterosexual trans men. Of course they exist. I'm not saying they're not out there, but in my experience, it's just not as common. Personally, myself, at times before my transition, I did identify as a masculine lesbian. A lot of people would say I dressed as a tomboy, but even then, I was dealing with a lot of gender identity issues, and it didn't just boil down to being gay. But I know trans men who never identified as lesbians or masculine lesbians at all. So when you look at my before photos, it is true that, like, I look very comfortable. I'm flaunting myself. Like, in my opinion, I look smoking in almost all my old photos. However, comfortable, I wouldn't say so. I think if people took a step back, they'd realize that, like, I was the epitome of discomfort. I mean, for one, obviously I like documenting my life. I still do it now through videos. But why would somebody take about 30 selfies a day? I mean, we're talking, I just went through my phone and organized it and deleted like tons of shit, and I still have almost 26,000 photos and videos over the years. The answer is validation. I mean, that drove a lot of why I took the pictures that I did, because I was getting constant validation. I didn't feel comfortable in my skin, and if I got validation, I felt like I'm doing something right. Obviously, it wasn't healthy, but it got me by. And obviously, like, somebody who changes how they look as much as I did is not comfortable. I'm not saying people who like dress up from time to time or dye their hair, change their look, whatever. I drastically overhauled my appearance constantly. So I would disagree that I was comfortable. I think I was a good faker and I think I was hot. But comfortable, no. I transitioned a long time ago, so I've been an advocate in the community for years, sharing my journey, and through that, I've connected with tons of trans men. And all of them have different stories, even if some have similarities, like everybody's background is different. It is true, some of us were tomboys in the past, but not all of us.